Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make 3 different kinds of Easter cookies. First, I'm going to start with these ones. You can use whatever kind of box cake mix you want. I've done chocolate, this one I did vanilla, I've done red velvet. I'm just going to start out by putting my cake mix into my bowl, and then I'm going to add in my wet ingredients. So you can turn any box cake mix into cookies if you add 2 eggs and you add 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm adding my 2 eggs and then my oil, and then I'm going to mix that all together. I did find an easier way if you add your sprinkles in with your dry mix and mix that together. It is easier. This one, since it's vanilla, I am going to add a little bit of vanilla extract. And then here I am adding in my rainbow sprinkles. There's no measurements for the sprinkles or the M&Ms. You can add as many or as little as you would like. And then I am just going to mix that all together. None of these cookies are from scratch. You of course could do them from scratch, but I did box cake mix for 2 of them, and then I did like a pre-made bagged cookie mix for 1 of them. That way it's just a very simple recipe and anyone can make them. They're quick and they're easy. It's nothing that you have to have all these ingredients like flour, sugar, baking powder, anything like that. So once everything is mixed all together, you're gonna add your M&Ms. I did a 1/2 cup of M&Ms. You could do more M&Ms if you would like, or you could do less M&Ms, whatever you would like. I used the Easter blend of the M&Ms, the pastel ones. I just thought it was cute and it went on theme with the whole Easter theme. But you are just going to mix in your M&Ms, fold them in, whatever, until they are all mixed into the batter. And then you are going to take your batter and you are going to wrap it in saran wrap or plastic wrap, whatever you call it, and then you are going to put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes. Once they came out of the fridge, I used a tablespoon to measure out each cookie, and then I put them on my cookie sheet. You can make about 24 cookies if you do them this size with like the tablespoon. You can make about 24 of them with each box cake mix. And then once I was done rolling them all out, I put each color of an M&M on top of each cookie. So I did a green, a pink, a yellow, a blue, and a purple. You don't have to put the M&Ms on top of the cookies. I just think that they look cute. You can do 1 M&M if you would like. It's up to you. And then you're gonna bake them in your oven at 350 degrees for anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes. It depends on how you like your cookies, if you want them a little gooey or if you don't. I do mine for about 12 minutes. And that is our first cookie all complete. Next, I'm going to be showing you how to make these carrot cake cookies with a cream cheese frosting. Again, we're going to do a box cake mix. We're going to do the 2 eggs, the 1/3 cup of, you've seen that I had some chopped up carrots as well to put in the cookie. So I am just going to put my cake mix into my bowl and then add my carrots. I did about 1/2 cup of carrots. You don't have to put these in at all. You could just skip this part completely if you didn't want to add any more chopped up carrots to your batter. But I'm just going to mix in all of the carrots. And then you saw that I did have some walnuts and some chocolate chips. I did 1/2 of this recipe. Well, I split it into 3 parts. I did some with walnuts, I did some with white chocolate chips, and then I did some without either one. But now I am just adding in my eggs, and then I'm going to add in my oil, and then give that a good mix all together. You're gonna see with this batter, you really can't roll them into balls like the other one that I just did. This one is gonna be something that you just put your tablespoon measurement in, and then you just scoop them out onto your cookie sheet. You'll see more of that in a minute. But I'm just going to mix everything all together, and then once everything is all combined, I'm gonna section out my batter into 3 parts. One of them isn't gonna have any walnuts or chocolate chips in them, like this one. There's the one that's plain, and then I'm going to add in some chopped walnuts into this second half of the batter. I didn't measure, I just threw in as much as I thought that I would need. And then I just folded them into the batter. And then once that's done, I'm gonna wrap this batter up. And then I am going to go into the 3rd section of my batter. I did end up adding a little bit more walnuts into this section of the cookie batter. And then this last section here, I did add in some white chocolate chips. Like I said, again, no measurements, just as much as I thought I would need. And then I do add in a couple more, mix that all together, and then I wrap up all 3 of the batters and put them into the fridge for about 30 minutes to an hour. Once they're done, as you can see, like I was telling you before, this batter is sticky, so all I did was scoop it with a tablespoon and just put it onto my cookie sheet. These will not be completely round, they'll be a little bit wonky looking, but that's fine, they still will taste really good. So this is the one with the walnuts in it. And then again, you're gonna put them on your cookie sheet and bake them at 350 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes, depending how you like your cookies. I do mine for about 12. This is what they look like when they're done. And now I'm gonna show you how to make the frosting. Those are the ingredients that you're gonna need. It's a cream cheese buttercream frosting, so it has a little bit of stability in there. But I am just going to cream my butter, and once that is done, I am going to add in my cream cheese, my block of cream cheese. So here I am adding in the block of cream cheese. I do Philadelphia cream cheese. I just think that it's so much better than all the other brands. But I am going to mix together now my cream cheese and my butter, and then add in some vanilla extract as well. And then we're gonna give that a good mix. And then you are going to add in your 4 cups of powdered sugar. I did also add a little pinch of salt in there. I didn't record me doing that, I don't think, but I did also add a pinch of salt. Here's me adding some more powdered sugar, and you want to make sure during this process you are scraping the sides of your bowl. That way everything gets all nice and incorporated in there. And that's your frosting. Once it's done, I just put it in a piping bag and piped some on each one of the cookies. I have the 3 types of cookies. I have the one in the top left are the ones with the walnuts. The ones on the right are the ones with the white chocolate chips. And then the 3 at the bottom are without anything like that. They're just plain. And then I just took a tablespoon or half tablespoon, whatever that is, and just smoothed out the top of the frosting on each cookie. And then I'm going to add on top of each cookie, the ones that have the walnuts, I added some crushed walnuts. The ones that had the white chocolate chips, I put the white chocolate chips on top. And the ones that are plain, I just did I took one of the cookies and I crushed it up to make like a crumble and put it on top of the plain ones. That way we knew which cookies were which ones. And that is how I made these carrot cake cookies. My family really enjoyed these. And then last but not least, we have these Cadbury Egg chocolate chip cookies and these Reese egg chocolate chip cookies. So this is the one that I used the chocolate chip mix in a bag, so I am just going to put that in my bowl. And then this one calls for 1 egg and then a whole stick of softened butter. Here's my softened butter. I'm just going to put it into my cookie mix, and then I'm going to add my egg in there as well, and I'm just going to mix that all up until it is combined. I would let your butter sit out for like an hour and a half so that it's really soft. I softened mine in the microwave. You don't want it melted like the bag said, you want it softened, so I didn't want to put it in there for too long. I think I did like almost 30 seconds in my microwave. It might be different depending on your heat setting, but you don't want melted butter. I could have put it in there a little bit longer to get it a little bit softer, because it was a little bit a pain in the butt to mix because it did take a while. But once it was all mixed together, I sectioned it into 2 different sections, and I had some crushed Cadbury eggs, so I just threw on a glove and mixed it in there. I didn't, again, no measurements, just eyeball it, and however many eggs that you want to put in there, put them in there. If you don't want to put a lot, you don't have to do that either, but I just am going to be mixing this all together and then wrapping it up and putting it into my fridge. Again, probably for about 30 minutes, and then this is my second half of the dough, which I'm going to add my Reese's eggs in there and give that a good mix as well. Again, with the glove on, I just thought it was easier than mixing it with a spatula at this point. But once I give that a good mix, I'm going to wrap this dough up as well and throw it in the fridge for about 30 minutes. No measurements for how many eggs, as many or as little as you would like. Here's both of my doughs all wrapped up, and then once they were done in the fridge for 30 minutes, I took them out, took a tablespoon again and measured out each cookie, and then I am going to roll them all into balls. Doing the cookies at this size, I think I made like 26 cookies. I know it was more than 24 of them, but they were just a nice size, pretty big cookies, and I got a lot of them. So here I am doing the Reese's Pieces ones now. You can do them bigger than this if you like, or you can do them smaller than this. I just think this was the perfect size cookie, so I did a tablespoon. You can do half of a tablespoon, you can do 2 tablespoons. I know the bag said that you can do them up to 12 cookies or 24 cookies, and again, I said I got about 26 of them doing them with the tablespoon measurement. But you are just going to put them on your cookie sheet and bake them at 350 degrees according to the bag. I think mine said about 12 to 14 minutes. And that is how I made these 3 different cookies for Easter. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe for more.